The final determination of that refusal to test is a function of the employer. Hi, Joe Riley here, President of National Drug Screening. I'm answering questions on this video blog about drug and alcohol testing. And today I want to focus on refusals to test. Many times as an employer, you might require an applicant or an employee to go for a drug test. And there are many situations where they might refuse that drug test. There's actually a list of about 20 of those situations, and we're going to provide a link to that list that you can download. But I'm going to focus on 5 major categories of refusal to test. And the first one is a no-show. The person doesn't show up for the required drug test. Well, they're refusing to test if they don't show up. If it's a pre-employment test, it's not necessarily called a refusal. It's kind of called that they don't want the job. But if it's an existing employee and they don't show up, that is a refusal to test and should have consequences that are equal to or greater than the consequences of a positive drug test result. The next category is they do show up, but they leave before the testing occurs, or they leave in the middle of the testing, or they leave because they can't void a specimen right now and they don't want to wait until they can void a specimen. That is also a refusal to test. For an existing employee, it's a refusal. For a pre-employment, if the test has commenced, the test has started, that's also a refusal. The next category of refusal is adulteration. The person being tested is cheating on the test, and the laboratory detects that they've added something to their specimen. They've ingested something that is attempting to adulterate their specimen. That test result will be reviewed by a medical review officer, an MRO, and will be reported back to the employer as a refusal to test. The next type of refusal is what we call substitution. Again, the person being tested is cheating on the test. They've substituted something for their urine specimen. That can be detected at the laboratory, and the medical review officer will report that back to the employer as a refusal to test. The last category of refusals is failure to cooperate with the testing process. So your employee goes down for the test and they don't want to wash their hands, which is required. They don't want to empty their pockets, which is required, or in some other manner, they are refusing to cooperate with the process. The collector, the person performing the test, has a right to end that event based on the non-cooperation and provide notes and documentation back to the employer, and that is a refusal to test. Now, some of these refusals are reported by the medical review officer as a final drug test result. But many of these refusals, like failure to show up, or leaving before the testing is over, or failing to cooperate with the testing process, these are refusals that the determination must be made by an employer representative. Typically the DER at the company, the designated employer representative, they have an obligation and a responsibility to call this test a refusal and to administer the consequences of the refusal to test, and there should not be any second bite at the apple. We answer questions like this on our blog, on our website, www.nationaldrugscreening.com. Visit us for some great information.